You can go pretty much wherever you want. But there are some places in the world which are off limits. These places are illegal to visit, sometimes for good reasons and sometimes not so much. From a top secret Chinese spying facility to entire islands which are illegal to go on. Diego Garcia, British Overseas Territories. Diego Garcia is owned and controlled by Britain, but it's nowhere near the UK. It's located between East Africa, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia. The island is full of dense jungles, and the beaches are very beautiful with white sand. But you won't find any tourists going here. The only thing you'll find on Diego Garcia is a US Navy base. The reason why is because it's a major strategic asset. The mysterious thing is, very few people know what goes on at the base. Of course, some ships and also aircrafts are stationed there. That's in case the US ever has conflict with a European, Asian, or African country. But it's also said that the CIA's black sites are located on this island. These are very secretive places where the CIA does interrogations. The island is owned by the UK, but since the Cold War it's been rented out to the USA. The sad thing is, before this 2,000 people were living on the island, but they were forcibly expelled by the British government. And in 2016 the UK and US extended their agreement by another 20 years. Fukushima Exclusion Zone, Japan. In 2011, something happened in Japan which changed the country forever. There was an earthquake which led to a tsunami. That tsunami then damaged a nuclear power plant. This caused a level 7 nuclear meltdown. Residents within 18 miles of the power plant had to evacuate. And it was the worst nuclear meltdown since Chernobyl. Because of the very extreme radiation which has taken people's lives, you're not allowed to go into this area. The 18-mile radius is known as the Fukushima Exclusion Zone. According to the Japanese government, it is illegal to go here. However, one Malaysian photographer named Kyo Wee Loong did go in anyway. He snuck in without any protective equipment. He said that it was like a real-life version of Fallout. The area is totally abandoned and creepy. Residents had very little time to gather their things and get out, and it said it may take 100 years for this area to be safe again. Jiangsu National Security Education Museum, China. You may think the entire point of a museum is to be visited by everyone, right? Well, that's not the case with this museum in China. In 2009, China opened its very own National Spy Museum. It has the history of espionage and secret intelligence from China. The collection goes all the way back to the 1920s up to today. Inside are secret eavesdropping devices. There are also spy cameras disguised to look like other things, and even weapons disguised to look like other objects. But there's a catch to this museum. All foreigners are totally banned from entering. You have to be a Chinese national to get in, and there's much more to it than just that. There is very advanced security screening. You have to be confirmed that you're not a spy to get in. For anyone who is allowed to enter, it's illegal to take photos inside the museum. I'm guessing that a lot of these techniques are still used by Chinese spies today, and that's why anyone who's not Chinese is not allowed in. It's said to be the most mysterious and forbidden museum in the world. Only a couple of photos of inside this place exist. These were released by the museum themselves, of course making sure that no sensitive information was leaked. Bangalore Fort, India. You may think that governments don't legally recognize any buildings as haunted. Well, Bangalore Fort in India is the only legally recognized haunted place in India. Because of this, you need a government permit to go anywhere near here before dawn or after sundown. The fort was the ruins of what was once a kingdom. It's located in between Jaipur and Alwar. The fort was built all the way back in 1573, and this was by the ruler Amba Kachawar, who made it for his youngest son. But ever since this fort was built, the area has been cursed. As soon as it was built, a massive famine happened in the area. This caused all of the villagers at the time to flee. It's also forbidden to go here because it's very dangerous. There are many wild, nocturnal animals that roam around here. This includes tigers. There is no non-natural lighting in the area, meaning that you won't be able to see what's around you. And of course, it's illegal to actually go inside the fort at any time. Many people, even in the Indian government, believe it truly is haunted. But if you were allowed to, would you go inside Bangalore Fort, or would you be too scared? Morgan Island, South Carolina. What if I told you that off the coast of South Carolina in the USA there is a forbidden monkey island? Morgan Island, also known as Monkey Island, can be found north of Beaufort in South Carolina. There is a colony of more than 4,000 rhesus monkeys on the island. The monkeys were relocated there from Puerto Rico. This was because many monkeys in Puerto Rico were getting a bad virus. So to save them, South Carolina put them on the uninhabited Morgan Island. But today it's totally illegal for anyone to go on this island. This is for both your safety and the monkey's safety too. They don't want anyone to go on there and harm a monkey by spreading a human virus or injuring one on purpose. But it would also be very dangerous for you to go onto this island. The monkeys are not used to humans, and they would likely seriously injure if not take the life of anyone who goes on here. The monkeys are owned by the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, and only scientists and researchers from there are allowed to visit. Bank of England Vaults, UK. One of the most valuable assets in the world is gold. In fact, the entire global financial system used to be backed by gold. But one of the countries which has the most gold reserves in it is the UK. These are stored in the vaults of the Bank of England. These are said to be the most secure vaults in the world. Not all of this gold is owned by the Bank of England. A lot of it is owned by other countries which stores their gold in the Bank of England vaults. That's because the vaults have a reputation for being super secure. Only those with the highest authorization are allowed to enter. In the UK, trespassing is not a crime, but that does not apply to some specific places, for example the Bank of England vaults. Down inside the vaults are stacks and stacks and stacks of gold bars. It's even off limits to the media, and only a few photos of the vaults exist. It's thought there's over $200 billion worth of gold down there. And in the 320 years it's existed, no gold has ever been stolen. Chapel of the Tablet, Ethiopia. The Chapel of the Tablet is one of the most elusive and mysterious places in the world. Inside supposedly is the Ark of the Covenant, but we don't actually know this because only the Ark's Guardian is allowed to enter. This means we simply have to trust the Ark's Guardian that it's in there. The Ark of the Covenant is a gold-covered wooden chest, and inside contains the 2 stone tablets of the 10 Commandments. The last time the Ark of the Covenant was seen by anyone but the Ark's Guardian was in 587 BC. Even back then the Ark was not to be touched or even looked at when uncovered, and to this day it is the holiest and most precious object in the world. The estimated value is literally priceless, as it's the most important relic in history. Niihau, Hawaii. Niihau is an island located off Hawaii. It's also known as the Forbidden Island. It got its name back in 1952 when polio broke out. It was illegal to leave or enter the island to stop the spread of polio. The island is inhabited by 170 people. Every year thousands apply to visit, but almost all of them are turned down. Even the music legend Mick Jagger was denied entry to this island. The Whites Club, UK. The Whites Club is said to be the most secretive and forbidden gentlemen's club in the world. It's located in a very wealthy part of London. Founded in 1693, members include politicians, billionaires, and royal family members. Women are not allowed in, with one exception, which is the Queen. Only the most elite people are allowed in, and the membership is only 500 people. Also, the club's bar has not closed for 200 years. But now it's time to make your voice heard. Comment below which was the most interesting forbidden place in this video. If you want some more amazing videos, then check out my second channel.